Good day, everybody. Hail and good morning on Tuesday, 15-minute quick live nines. Tell you what's on mind, and see what everybody has to say. Hope everyone's doing well since our last hangout yesterday. There we go. Hail, Jonathan. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well today. Trying to stay. Hope you're staying cool. I'm sitting outside right now, so needless to say, it's not very cool out here. But it's all right. I'm in the shade and some semi-shade, trying to position myself to where I'm not getting the sun glaring down on me. What you guys want to talk about today? It's Tuesday. You guys out here doing your jobs, working on your breaks, what have you. What else we got here? Sitting on the porch. I guess if I was home, that's probably maybe what I might be doing. Might be sitting in the air conditioning. But maybe coffee, you know. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, Jonathan. I've gotten it's actually sparked a discussion in another group chat that I'm in with some folks. Eric Sherfin being one of them, and some of his folk out there in East Texas. So it's really become it's kind of sparked a discussion. If anybody that's tuned in or watching doesn't know, Sundays about grief. Hail to you there. What do we got here? I'm trying to see. David, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining the live stream. Taking a break from knitting. Just learning how. Cool. I heard that that's kind of a tedious thing to learn. So congratulations and good luck with that. Hope you enjoy it and it doesn't make you pull your hair out. But yeah, the topic of discussion on Sunday was about grief, grieving, and how a heathen approach to kind of dealing with it, or at least this heathen's approach to dealing with it. And it's one of those complex things, right? We talked about just how complex the feelings of grief are, how many different emotions you are experiencing, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the confusion, sometimes even the guilt, and just how do you process that as a heathen? And kind of one of the things that came out was the concept of death, was viewed so differently in days gone by and in ancient times. It wasn't looked upon as being the end. It was our ancestors were still very much in close with their deceased loved ones through ancestor veneration, and that's such a big part of heathenry. Something that I think gets overlooked because of this romanticized kind of view or image of the gods. Everybody's all worried about how do I get the gods' attention? How do I have good relationships with the gods and the gods that? And they're very important. Don't get me wrong. However, on a day-to-day basis and on your regular activities, I feel like people can sometimes forget about or overlook honoring and venerating their ancestors and keeping that relationship and connection with them, because even though they're not physically around, they are still around. They are still present. They are still with us. And I think that helps us as heathens with the grieving process, because we're not they're not around us physically, but they're not gone. They haven't left. So, and then that's one way that we can help others within our communities, is to walk through the darkness with them while they're feeling that grief and that loss, because it's natural. It's a natural part of suffering loss. Grieving is necessary in the healing process. Let the person grieving tell you what they need. Exactly right. And that's one of the things that we did talk about was don't try to be the voice of reason. Don't try to tell them. Don't try to give the sage advice as much as you may want to. Some of us are I think the empaths are a good example of people that want to just take the pain, take the hurt away from people, and you can't. You just have to be there, and for someone to know that they're not alone through their suffering is a lot of times the best um, thing that they can have going for them at that time. You know, just to know that there's someone there with them in that dark time. They don't want to necessarily be pulled out of it. They don't, they're not asking for you to do anything for them. They just want you to be there. And that goes back to the importance of tribe and and how that is the literal backbone of heathenry to me. It's without tribe, what have you got? You got just people out there doing their own thing, and the backbone of heathenry and where heathenry really truly thrives is on the tribal level, at the kindred level, for these reasons. So it definitely is an important aspect of it. Uh, Ancestor veneration is what cemented your decision to practice heathenry. That's fantastic. I'm glad that that was a big part of the approach for you, because I think a lot of people that come into this, and when I first came into heathenry, I'll admit, I didn't quite understand that concept because I came from I came from a Christian background, and that's not really something that, in my upbringing as a kid and into my young adult years, was that concept wasn't anything that was about what we believed in, right? So I admit that in my early time as a heathen, it was all about the gods and trying to figure out, about the gods and stuff. But as I grew and as I became more educated and as I learned more about what it is to be heathen, I realized that there's so much around us day to day, the rights of the land and of our homes, and like here, I mean, I come out here and sit out here for a few minutes in the heat, and I'm in the Vatir's spot. You know what I mean? Like this is where the Vatir live. There's Vatir that live all around me, and to honor and respect their presence, and to not disregard them or acknowledge them in some way. Of course, the Vatir of my home and our ancestors. All of these spirits and things of the sacred that are around us that quite often get overlooked, or just because maybe people don't realize it, that this is what's a part of this path. So learning about it and educating is, nothing wrong with that. Your mom was Christian and believed that she is where she believes she would go, and it's my approach to all religions. My folks are still, they still hold to the beliefs that they raised myself and my sister in, and obviously there's been some conflicts of things that I believe in versus what they believe in, just because of the nature of the two different paths. But we can still get along. We can still talk to one another. We can still, which I'm glad for, because I know there's some instances that lose their connection between family because of religious bigotry and intolerance and hatred, because you're different and because you don't believe the same thing. So I'm glad that that hasn't happened in my instance, and I respect and honor their path to allow that, let them, because if they things going on in their life and the strength and peace that they need to get through the hard times comes from and is rooted in their beliefs and their spirituality, then who am I to sit back and create a fuss about it, or say anything negative about it? There's people that don't have that sort of, they don't have anything that they have to hold on to in terms of spirituality or whatever, and it's whatever works. If what works for one doesn't work for all, and that's totally fine. I'm not saying that you have to have something in order to get by in life and get through the tough times. It's whatever works for you, but it works for them, and I support them in that. Always taught you to make up your own mind about those things, and that's a great approach. Fortunately for you, that is a too many times we see people trying to influence and change people for what they believe, to make them feel like they're wrong. And I've had that happen with some people, some parts of my family. You know, my other relatives who I really don't speak to on a regular basis, because every time we do, there's always this attempt to try and show me where I'm wrong and um, make me feel that I'm wrong for believing what I believe. And like I'm beyond that. I don't need that negativity in my life. Let me live my life. I'll let you live yours. And if you don't want to be decent or civil about stuff, and you want to just try to cause an argument every time we talk, then I don't have time for that. So that's just, my parents aren't like that, and neither is my sister, and um, like I said, just some other extended family that have kind of become that way. So, I take what I can get and move on from the rest, and continue to do what I know works for me, and build my relationship and with everything that I'm trying to maintain, the relationship between my ancestors and the Vatir, the land and the home and everything around me. So, and with the gods too, of course. It's all part of it. We're all kind of walking this path at our own different paces, learning things in our own way and figuring things out along as we go. So it's just all part of the journey. It's all part of the raido. But what else here? Just going back through, seeing comments. But yeah, guys and gals, this coming Sunday, if anybody's watching now from the Middle Tennessee area, as a reminder, this coming Sunday, the 25th, gonna have like a park moot, MTH Middle Tennessee Heathens meetup in Murfreesboro. If you go out to the Facebook page, Midgard Musings Facebook page, there's an event up there, and it gives you the address and location. Specifically where it's going to be in the park, it still remains to be seen. It's kind of what's going to be available and what we have open to us. Since I'm not paying to reserve any space, so hopefully we'll have some little pavilion or some park benches or something. Maybe bring. I think my wife has a cornhole game. Maybe bring some cornhole. If you guys are looking into playing some games. Well, thank you for joining me on these talks. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. It's definitely nice to have the interaction instead of just me talking to a camera without any feedback. And I do these to try to just keep everybody informed as to what's going on, because I know a lot of folks maybe don't get on Facebook and they're really just following here on the YouTube channel. So it gives some insight to those types of individuals that stick to just one form of a social media platform at least, and lets me talk to some folks out here in this interactive way, and it's fun. I like it. I think I'm going to bring a game aside from the cornhole, because what's that? And I got to get the pronunciation of it, but it's like the Viking or Norse similar equivalent to chess, Hoffenthal or something like that. I don't know how to play it, but I'm going to try to figure it out before then, because I got a small set that came to me through NorseBlood.com. It's like the little travel set. And I thought, why not bring it out? Let's see if we can figure out how to play it at the meetup. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can find the rules somewhere online. Yeah, I have too. Board game called In the Name of Odin. May bring it one of the indoor meetups. Cool. Yeah. Again, depending on the weather, if it's like storming crazy bad or whatever, like we may have to rethink it, unless there's like a sheltered pavilion, which I think Old Fort Park does have some, depending on what's occupied or what's reserved. But we're gonna play it by ear. And so hopefully if there is a sheltered pavilion available, we'll go ahead and grab that one. I think there's like another group that's going to be there. I don't believe they're pagan, but it's like a LARPing group or something. I noticed that there's going to be something going on there, so who knows? And of course it is kid friendly, guys. So if you're coming and you bring your children, bring something cold to drink. We're going to have a cooler. It's, of course, non-alcoholic stuff, but, ice water and juices or sodas or anything you want to bring. We'll have an ice I think we should have a cooler with some ice in it. So if to help keep hydrated and keep cool in case it's really hot, like it is this time of year. Um, Foam fighting. AMT guard, is that who it is? You might be right. Yeah. So they might. Yeah. So who knows? I think they're pretty welcoming. From because I noticed that when I posted about it, one of their folks had said, yeah, we're going to be there too, and we're come by and say hi, whatever. So they seem like a pretty welcoming type. But we'll see. We'll see how all things go. It's going to be really the first part moot. Well, no, second, because the first one we did was, I think, back in April. And we did that at the Cedars of Lebanon. We have like a grill out, cookout at Cedars of Lebanon, which is neat. I ran out of propane when we got there, so we had to go do the charcoal thing. So if we ever do that again, we'll make sure that we have plenty of propane. You're in Belgrade, okay. Wants to bring the foam weapons? Hell yeah! You guys have them. I mean, like I said, it's family friendly, and might be a fun little thing to fool around with. If you guys have them, why not? If not, no big deal. We can just sit around and get to know one another, try to build our community up. Hopefully we get a pretty nice turnout. I think tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to try to get the NorseBlood.com review up tomorrow. Might try to record it tonight and have it up tomorrow. And then, of course, the podcast. So that'll be up on Anchor.fm. But anyways, folks, that's pretty much all I've got time for right now. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Be sure again to share the videos that you like on this channel. Anything that jumps out to you that you think other people would enjoy, please share them around. Comment on them, give them a thumbs up, any of that type of stuff. It helps get the Facebook or YouTube algorithm knowing that it's content that needs to be shared. And subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification so that way you don't miss anything that I do here. You get notified every time I go live, upload new content, post new stuff. So I appreciate everybody tuning in today and watching. And I will be back for the next live stream on Friday morning. So you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will hopefully see you in the next live stream. Take care, everybody.